Right, let's get more now on England, who put themselves within reach of promotion to the top tier of the Nations League with a very enjoyable 3-0 victory in Greece.
Yeah, it's just one game left before Thomas Tuchel takes over in January, and we're going to have a look at what the incoming head coach might have learnt. James is obviously here with us. James, let's start with the system that Lee Carsley played last night, which was in total contrast to the lineup in that defeat against Greece last month.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves of how England set up last night against Greece, a match where we knew England had to win and had to win well to put themselves in the box seat to qualify and be the winners of this group and get back into Group A when it comes to the Nations League. So we had 4 at the back, a flat back 4 with 2 in midfield. It was Gallagher and Jones last night. Let's bear in mind 9 players missing last night for England from the squad. Madueke and Gordon Moore as out-and-out wingers. Bellingham in the number 10 and Ollie Watkins as the striker. And then let's unfortunately go back to what England looked like and how they set up for that game against Greece at Wembley last month. A game where they simply weren't at the races whatsoever. It was the false 9. You had Foden and Bellingham as the furthest forward players, Saka and Gordon on the wing, Palmer and Declan Rice, the only midfield option there who was slightly more defence orientated. England completely overrun in that match. Harry Kane was injured, so England went without a recognised striker, despite the fact they had Solanke and Watkins there. And that all-out attacking strategy backfired badly. It was a confused, disjointed performance from England that day. So perhaps the lesson learnt from that is, yes, England got a wealth of brilliant attacking players. Even last night with the players that were missing, there were still great options off the bench there. Perhaps it's a case of you pick the best system and you put the players in there rather than you try and fit all the best players into one team.
What I was just about to say is, speaking from experience and having Thomas Tuchel as the manager of my club, that he won't...
Not mentioned that before.
He won't be afraid to do that.
In the Champions League.
I don't think he is the sort of manager that will try and do that. From what I've known of him, I think that he is a manager that will very much look at the system and go, right, this is the system I want to play. At Chelsea, it was a 4-2-3-1, very similar to what Lee Carsley played last night. And I do think that he won't struggle to leave out some big names.
That is the England system.
He won't struggle to leave out big names either.
That's the England system.
So.
The only thing I'd say in defence of Lee Carsley is that when he did pick that team when they lost at Wembley to Greece, the whole nation was like, get it.
Yeah,
a long line.
This is the team I would have picked. This is it. And the whole nation was taught a lesson that none of us are very good football managers.
Very true. What about England's squad depth then? Because it's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, I think last night illustrated that. The fact is, Lee Carsley picked 8 players that weren't available. Then he picked Jared Branthwaite, who then made himself unavailable because he was injured. And even then, you looked at the squad, which we saw just before, and it still was a really strong team. And I think what has demonstrated is the wealth of talent there is in English football, and particularly young players as well, that Lee Carsley has blood. 5 debuts over the course, 6 debuts even over the course of the 5 matches. That pathway seems to be really strong. Players coming from the under-21s into the senior age group level. And we saw yesterday some surprise, and we reported it earlier on in the day, that Ollie Watkins may get the nod over Harry Kane. We saw Ollie Watkins reward Lee Carsley after just 7 minutes, and already 4 goal involvements his last 5 games for England. Perhaps none more important than the goal he scored in the semi-final to get England to the final of Euro 2024. And in terms of other things we saw last night, which would be really encouraging for Thomas Tuchel moving forward, is Rico Lewis offering an option on both flanks. And when Thomas Tuchel was putting together that 23 or 26-man squad for the Euros, having somebody like Rico Lewis who can play on both flanks and midfield will be really encouraging. Lewis Hall at left-back, I think England really have been struggling for options at left-back. Luke Shaw, I know he's back in training at Manchester United. Ben Chilwell out of favour at Chelsea. Lewis Hall could end up being...
He looked so comfortable,
option.
I thought. I mean, Curtis Jones has stolen the show with his performance, but Lewis Hall, when he came on second half, was excellent.
Yeah.
And I mean, genuinely, he was excellent.
And on the same side, with Anthony Gordon impressing once again on the left flank, he's got plenty of opportunities under Lee Carsley. He spoke after the tournament, was unhappy the fact he got such few minutes during the Euros, but that's another option. And Noni Madueke has been so impressive.
As well.
How great is it having old school English wingers
just
flying at the fullback, going and being direct? So I think that's really encouraging. Thomas Tuchel, if he watched the game last night, I think will be impressed with the options he will have at his disposal when he starts work in 47 days' time.
Yeah. Just go do it again against the Republic of Ireland if you're in England. From an England perspective, of course, from an Irish perspective, they'll be hoping they can get the win, of course. Brilliant, James. Thank you very much indeed.